This is Leo again on Follow Up Me 2022. We're in a really cute, nice restaurant, very busy restaurant. The restaurant is called Rituals Cafe and it's in the Village Plaza on Constant Spring Road. Uno can't miss this. But right now I am here to sit and talk with a young lady who is in the island today. As she's celebrating the 60th year of independence with us. And here she is. Her name is Angelique Davidson. As she is one of those people out in the Middle East who's teacher, somebody of my own heart, somebody we love, and we've worked together before. But it so happened that she walked into this very exciting restaurant, and when we look at she that, oh my God, Angelique, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
It's nice to see you.
Likewise.
So, from when you come home?
I've been here from about first week of July, thereabouts.
Oh, okay. So you're teaching in
Kuwait.
Kuwait. What a country. But I'm not ready for that yet. I soon come to that.
Okay.
Today it's about emancipation, emancipendence and independence. So I want to know, first of all, let's put something into perspective. Which part of Jamaica you come from?
I'm from Kingston.
Yeah, Kingstonian?
Yes,
I'm so disappointed.
Oh,
Are
well.
you one of those persons who say, I don't eat drop mango? Is that, you're one of those people?
Why? Why would you have to do that? Okay. So, we all know that firm mango is better, but hey, let's not get into that debate. Let's not
You know, debate with me.
I won't debate that. Yes, just the firm mango.
That's a firm mango. All right, so you're not talking with the drop one.
We good.
All right. Okay, so what does emancipation mean to you?
Well, for me, that is the freedom to express yourself, to express your creativity, to express just who you are as a person. So I believe that once you are emancipated, a country is emancipated, or a person is emancipated, it would mean freedom of mind, freedom as it relates to choice, to be able to choose your path, not being dictated to say where you should go or where you shouldn't go, or what you should or shouldn't do. So that is where my mindset is as it relates to emancipation.
All right, so that's your conceptual idea about it.
Yes.
Are we emancipated on a personal level, on a political level?
Okay, so I believe that there is still some way to go,
Yes.
for sure, but I feel that we are, and based on even experience being out of Jamaica, I believe that we have achieved a great stride in terms of being able to freely express ourselves as a people.
Yes.
But I do think that there is still a way to go in terms of access.
Right.
When for me, when you talk about emancipation, that should mean access to
Education.
the best. Not just education, but
The best.
and that would mean resources, in better resources, and that's what I know, like even the diaspora is trying to work on,
Right.
as well, being even a part of that.
Okay.
But I believe that comes with being emancipated, that sense of access to just the best.
Anything to make you better.
To make you better. Each person. And no matter creed, no matter status.
Okay.
I believe that's where we should, if we're fully emancipated, that's where we would be.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Bob Marley calls it mental
Slavery.
emancipation.
Emancipating yourself
It's
from
from
mental
slavery.
right.
Right. Okay. All right. And so we also are celebrating independence.
Right.
Independence from colonialism. What does that mean? Are we independent? Are we an independent nation? Are we an independent person? Are we an independent country?
Again, I feel that if it comes down to an individual level, I would say yes to some extent. But if we were to look at some of I'm not necessarily like in depth in a lot of law, like legislation or so on. But I do believe that there is room to separate what some of the laws on the books or legislation that we're still tied to.
Right.
Maybe the older system, or what we would consider to be the colonial system. However, I feel again, even with the independence, there is still quite a few strides that have been made. I feel like we have come a far way in terms of even people being able to move about freely, things like improvements in, call it for what you will, there are improvements, road infrastructure improvements, yes, I know that there is a way to go, but there are different things that have been improved there, where we talk about road, where we talk about things like people trying to change the education system. I know that, even though we're not there, but it's happening. It's happening. And just for me, being able to move to carry my expertise, what I have learned in Jamaica, homegrown, and to be able to share it with cultures outside of Jamaica, that for me is independence.
Well, tell me about that. Let's talk about that, because it's, I want to get to why did you leave and go to another country?
All right, so first of all, I was teaching at high school, 2 high schools in Jamaica. First, I was at the Queen School, which is my alma mater, because I felt like, I needed to give back.
Yes.
And I've always felt the need to, give back. And so I really tried to teach, first of all, at my alma mater, which was a very enriching experience, and I learned invaluable knowledge and lessons there. Yes. And then I went to Hillel Academy to teach there, which is, I would say that really helped to prepare me as well for the international story. So even just that, the fact that you have all of this knowledge in Jamaica and you can share with each other, that is something that is important. And then someone told me about the job overseas and said, let me try it.
Okay.
Granted, this is where now I do believe if we say we're independent and emancipated, teachers should be even better. I'm going to use this to even lobby for that, because I believe that if you take care of your own as well, even better, you might not find people going away as much. Okay. However, when we do go away, what you do find is that the diaspora tries to help, and so sometimes we meet up with some red tape or so, and even that, allow the help to come in, because there are people who need that help.
Yes.
But I went because I like to move. I'm free spirited.
Yes.
I can't stay one place too long. No. I like to have, and even being there and so on, gaining more experience. Gaining more experience. I am thinking of where next can I take it. So I'm not looking to just stay centered in one place per se. I like to use this knowledge and take it elsewhere, gain more, and also again try to see how I can help others. But I moved, financial reasons. Let's not even sugarcoat it. Yes. And so that's why I'm saying a lot of persons would rather to stay in their country and build it. Yes. But we also have to look out for your personal rights. And so what the two, when we do that, we don't necessarily turn your back on your country, but you try to help. And I know, for example, the work that you have been doing, I can vouch that you are definitely trying to ensure that whatever expertise and whatever it is that's out here, you try to channel it back to Jamaica for Jamaica's improvement. And that's the aim.
Yeah, man. I so appreciate that's the purpose that they had by the diaspora.
Exactly. So you don't just leave and then you're not a part of anything, but you try to ensure that you give back. A lot
of other teachers are in Kuwait.
There are quite a few I've met that I knew from Jamaica. Going over there, I knew from before, and then there are those who I met or I've walked into a store, and I've just heard I hear them talking. I'm like, you're from Jamaica? No. So there is that.
So let me ask you about the teaching, the actual methodology, pedagogy of teaching.
Yes.
Here in Jamaica versus what you're applying in Kuwait. Is there a big difference, or how?
All right, I feel to a large extent it's different in the sense that the curriculum is, and based on what their needs are versus what the needs of Jamaican students would be. That's definitely different or varied. I wouldn't say the quality. It's really the teachers. It comes down to the professional who definitely have to deliver quality. Yes. So I feel like the quality that I'll take over there, the same quality that you would find in Jamaica, but the reception might be a little different.
Okay.
So definitely, for example, in Jamaica, that maybe students they know, and I will speak for myself, we know that education for the most part is our way out.
Yes.
So that is, you'll find that
So
the
that's the
rigor,
difference.
the
Okay.
rigor might be a little bit
Because they're
different.
already there.
They're already there to
Oh,
some
so much
extent.
of just a matter
or
of
the
learning.
needs,
Yes.
so they might more be business focused or so
Right,
on.
right.
Versus we might say,
We
all
might
right,
be
then
saying
we know
we're
that
surviving,
you
so we need to remove ourselves out
exactly.
of this survival
so
mode.
there
Okay.
is that.
Oh, and that's interesting
And so
that
you
you
can
said that.
appreciate that as well because of the varied culture, and so you learn from them too. And that is something you asked me about emancipation, independence, and what that means. Being open to, and when I say open to change.
Yes.
Because when you go to, for example, cultures, elsewhere, and you learn so much, try not to like shut down some of the things. Because when I went there, like, oh, this is what I know as a teacher.
Exactly. You have
But
to
then
open your mind.
You have to open. And so you'll find that at the end of the day, that's a part of being emancipated, being open. Not necessarily, you're not going to just give up your ideals.
Right.
You're not giving up your principles and your values and so on.
Because that's also a learning experience for
It's
them.
also a learning experience for them. So you're sharing, it's an
Yes.
exchange, but you have to be willing to exchange.
Right,
You're not
right.
selling out your culture, neither should you, but at the end of the day, it's an exchange.
Yes.
So that's how I look at it, as being free as well, being just open to whatever is out there. You're not just going to adopt wholesale or just take it on, but you're sharing yours too, because the kids are interested.
Yes.
For example, I find that the kids are interested in or just wanting to know some words, or you hear it. I'm in a lesson sometimes, and one or two might say, Miss, a song, they want to know about this song that's from Jamaica. So it's
And that can be
movies.
distracting, or you can use it as a learning
And so
tool also.
you use it as a learning tool. So in the
Right.
moment, I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you after. But then, you have that conversation.
Right.
They do follow.
Right.
So,
And
yes.
you brought up a great topic about why we learn.
Yes.
Because students, I had a conversation once upon a time with a teacher who's a Jamaican teaching in the United States system, and she said learning here in Jamaica, it seemed like the students put more value when they want to learn. They put more value into it than if you're in the United States, because the United States is so developed industrially and financially, that the value of education has to be almost drilled. But here, once you start learning, you know why you need to learn, because
Right.
you're or else,
Because that has been inculcated into you from you are
Right.
young.
Right.
So when you go, and again, that's the experience that I would.
that's
have
what I was
been
asking you about.
Right. So it's in a sense it's similar, because when you have access to everything on spot, you might not necessarily know the whys behind it, and so
Right.
really it's a part of, again, even just my experience being there, I have to remind or even teach the why.
Yes.
You see, because they might not necessarily grow up knowing the why.
Right, the why, yes.
And the why can be different, and it's
Yes.
okay.
And it's okay.
It's
Yes,
okay.
it's okay. Yes.
And so what I do, I use the experience to share with them that, listen, even though you might have all these resources and access, why you
Why?
can use it in so many other ways. It can push you further.
Absolutely.
Maybe even, again, this is how the cultural exchange is,
Right, yeah.
the discussion. When you have you might inherit a business, for example, but you definitely will need to know how to communicate.
Yes,
And
yes.
so you use your subject area and you teach the why. So I don't, knock anybody's culture. I don't know, I knock things like, you might not necessarily see the value, so I knock, no.
Right,
What
right.
you do is use it as a teaching moment.
We have we have a. It's nice to be having this conversation with you. I must tell you.
Same,
Okay.
likewise.
We have a culture where many of our students. So I grew up. There, in grade 6, for example.
Yes.
In certain primary schools, you might have 3 different grade 6 classrooms, right?
Yes.
And there's an expectation on the A class, the A class
Streaming.
is streaming, right, to be doing well. But then there's a different expectation at the other what are they expected to do is to be something else. And you brought out the vocational part. Do you think our system is applying this something else to those other two classrooms? Because it seemed like even all the way up to high school, we tend to focus our attention on the A stream to be academically sound and so forth, but then we don't apply the other streams to, because we're still trying to apply them into academics when they probably are not. Go ahead.
I like that question because the concern that I have now is with the pathway program that they're beginning to get on stream, and because I'm going to get into
yes.
But there's a pathway program where it will, in other words, all students will have to go to sixth form, and I'm concerned about that because or at least I'm hoping, and I really should try to find more out on that.
Right.
But I believe that there should be the vocational like a drive or a thrust to, I would say, a
rebranding. I like that term.
I believe wholeheartedly that vocational subjects need to be rebranded.
Right.
Because they have a certain stigma. And that's the thing, you need to first try to remove the stigma, so that students will be comfortable knowing that if I choose to do home economics, it's okay. And I'm not calling it but people have this thing, and when it's a subject that can take you so many places, so there shouldn't be any stigma on any subject areas. And let me not say, but just subjects like your hands-on, the practical ones, they put it that way, those need to be rebranded, whether you call it design and what have you, as opposed to just sewing or
redesign it so that it becomes interesting and attractive.
And market it. Those are the things that we do need to approach, as opposed to, and so I feel that the A stream, we need to mash that down. That's a part of the
colonialism.
The colonial or
and it kind of sense it's a sense of elitism,
we need to deconstruct it because I might not necessarily be someone who is inclined towards academics, or at least what they what you call the standard way of doing things, or academics in terms of the theoretical or so on, or but I could be someone who is more hands-on.
So what you're actually saying to me is that once, sixth form, 2 years in sixth form is fine, if we can find ways for the students who are vocationally inclined to make sure that they are into mechanics, into electrical, into metalworks and so forth, and make sure that they are comfortably doing the things that they need to do.
And not made to feel that you are just you are just doing it as it's just something to fall back on, but make it into a viable option just like any other subject. We need to deconstruct that approach to it, where we make any student feel, we allow students to feel that any subject is better than the other. Because, for example, I can give, and I will draw from personal experience, I am not necessarily inclined to doing sciences per se, but I know. For me, I wanted to do one of everything when I was in high school. And even when I was becoming a teacher, it was like a teacher, even that has its own stigma too. Teacher is like, it's last resort almost these days, right? And I look at even my experience and how far it has taken me even now. And I can say that it definitely...
On a personal note, Teacher Angelique, are you in a better place now working in Kuwait than you were when you were teaching here?
Better is relative. Better is relative, but different.
All right, so let's
put it as different. But
do you have
relative.
All right? Do you have a different type of frustration that you had here? The frustration level of being a teacher is it at the same level you are in Kuwait than you were in Jamaica?
It's not the same. No.
It's not the same.
No.
All right. I know that it was a tough question.
It is because at this, and I'll say this to anyone: you trade, basically nowhere that you'll go
Right.
will be perfect. We know this, but at
Right.
the end of the day, you do know that you will trade, for example, one difficulty for the other, and it's fine because it's all a part of the learning curve.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say better; it's
Yes.
different.
Different.
And better is relative.
What a great conversation we're having. I feel like I wanted to go further and further, but we have limited time. But I definitely want to spend some more time. When are you going back?
I am going August.
August.
Yes.
I'm
They
sure
do
I'm going to
later
catch
on
you.
in August.
I'm
We are in
sure
August.
I'm going to catch you when you're in Kuwait, and so that I can have more things to talk about from Kuwait while you're there. Thank you so much for spending time.
You are welcome, Mr.
Happy Emancipation.
Likewise.
All right, thank you. It's Leo Gilling from here, right here at, what's the name of this restaurant again? It's right here. It's called Rituals Cafe, and they have the best coffee and the best service, customer service representatives behind the counter there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Angelique. Have a nice day. All right.
You're welcome.